Are you working? What kind of work do you do?
No one teaches you about failure, right? Oh my Lord. No one teaches you about failure. My name is Michael Samaras. At this moment in time, I am doing personal training for about 6 or 7 people. I am a security officer with about 22 years of experience, working in various countries like Beirut, Egypt, Cyprus, in various different roles. But the last 10 years, I was in the US Embassy in Nicosia, Cyprus as the Foreign Service National Investigator. My father was a black belt at judo. He was a Greco-Roman wrestler. He was a Cypriot that left Cyprus in 1952 with 700 pounds in his pocket. I was born in Kent, and like my son, I was a very lively boy, a very strong boy for my age, and at the age of 6 years old I got into trouble at school for fighting. Vasos, my father, was a very strict father, a very good man. Immediately realized I needed discipline, so he took me to a judo club, and my journey in martial arts started from that day. I think from 6 years old till the age of 54, which I am now, I've had 2 years off. Everything I do in life is from the martial arts ethos. It's from that discipline. I left UK 1990, 1991. I came to Cyprus. I came with a young lady who said she was in love with me. My father had a bar in Nicosia, which is now New Division, but in those days it was his bar, called the Four Oaks, and we came to stay with him there. The relationship wasn't so good between my girlfriend and my father, and so we moved to Limassol. I stayed in Cyprus for 9 months, planning to go back to England, but I didn't realize I had to do national service. So I get the typical go to the Ministry of Defense to sign my piece of paper to say I can leave, and I have, Mr. Samaras, you go army. So I said, excuse me, you go army. And I went home to my father, who thought it was a great thing. I said, my son, yemu, nabais oik, nabais lochajis, or whatever. But it didn't quite work out like that. So I did 6 months, and I went in January. So Isira is not the ones that finish school, it's usually the ones that don't finish school. And it was the first 2 months was not a very pleasant experience. So we went, then when I came to Nicosia, my documents came through and it says that I'm a black belt, I do martial arts, and I was given a 12-man team. And for the rest of my time in the National Service, I taught martial arts to a team of 12 guys, and we did demonstrations for the UN, for the British Army. We did demonstrations all around Cyprus. So that was a good experience. I came out. I wanted to go back to UK. My experience of Cyprus at that time, I didn't appreciate it for the beauty and the country that I love now. So I wanted to leave. I left. As I landed in Heathrow, I knew I'd made a terrible mistake. I landed in Heathrow and I sat there and I was like, you know, Cyprus gets in your blood. It's a very difficult country to leave. And so I stayed for a couple of weeks, saw some friends, came back. I think I started working in some containers, emptying stuff, worked on building sites. And then there was a job advertised for the embassy of Beirut, but under the umbrella of Embassy Nicosia. Everyone told me you wouldn't get it, but I had some skill sets that they liked. You know when you're told that you're not going to get a job, and you go to the interview, you're just, oh, okay, I'm not going to get the job. I did a great interview, and I got the job. So I started working for American Embassy Beirut. It's not classified. I don't want to go into too great a detail what I did at the embassy, because I don't want to. But we made no American diplomat could fly into Beirut International Airport after 1983, after they blew up the Marine house at the embassy and killed over 281 or 2 Marines. So we used to create a bridge, an air bridge, with helicopters. So I had the coolest job in the world. You know, Black Hawk helicopters. I don't know if you've ever seen a Black Hawk helicopter, but when they fly in, it was cool. And you're working in the nighttime mainly. And so it was a very cool experience. After that, I was teaching scuba diving. I got into scuba diving. I became a IDC staff instructor for PADI. That contract shut down. I was offered a job at the embassy. I decided not to take it. And so I taught scuba diving for 2 years on Nissi Beach. Another great experience of my life. And all around Cyprus. And I was teaching the British Army and the first contingent of the Dutch Army since their Kosovo incident to work for the UN. I taught them as well. Then a job opened up at the embassy here. I applied for it. I was lucky enough to get it. And then I left after 16 years. I try to teach a way of life, lifestyle choices that, for instance, an interview outside, we're designed to be outside. We work inside. I had a great job at the embassy. I had one of the best jobs at the embassy, very well paid, a great deal of responsibility, but I became complacent. I watch YouTube 4 days of the week and could do my job in 1 day, or order my clothes online, and I cannot speak for every government employee, but I know that most of them did that. Now, I'm a true martial artist. Although I was never a great martial artist when I was younger, I came second more than I came first. So it was a self-confidence issue, low self-esteem, all these things that a lot of us carry with us as baggage. I decided that, also with a failed first marriage and 3 children that live in another country, that don't want to come to Cyprus anymore because daddy, your phone always goes off and you have to leave. You make a lot of mistakes as you grow up, and you make a lot of mistakes as a parent, and there isn't a book and there isn't any training for it, and you do the best you can. Matthew was born, and again I'm working 24/7. I run at the drop of a phone call. I live close to the embassy, and I started to compromise myself. So it was time to leave. It didn't exactly happen the way I wanted to do, that I was going to teach personal training. I became unemployed, and one day I was training hard and someone asked me to train them. So it's easy to train somebody, but it's very difficult to show them the way. Because if I'm not there, I shouldn't be just saying you must do this. I should be teaching, if I'm not here, this exercise does this, going outside when you're not feeling so good, breathing some fresh air. Limassol is a great place to work. I love it because if I have a bad day, it takes me 2 minutes to walk by the sea. By the time I walk back to the office, I feel great. We're designed to be outside. Our brain is designed to keep us away from discomfort. Our brain is designed to tell us, you know, don't do that, that's going to hurt. Exercise hurts if you do it properly. You should be going and saying, I'm going to be uncomfortable for the next hour, but the benefits of that and the rewards of that are far beyond any belief or any dream possible. And they make dreams come true. And it's not about looking good, it's about feeling good. And it's about coping with everyday pressures. The fitter you are, the better you deal with stress. The better you deal with dealing with your daughter's stress or dealing with my son's stress. So what do I teach? I teach whatever anyone wants. I cannot teach martial arts for fitness. I will teach martial arts and you will become fitter. I don't teach or I don't give programs to make you look beautiful. I give you functional training programs to make you feel beautiful. The looking beautiful will be a byproduct of that. I train for health. Cosmetics to me doesn't matter. It's a byproduct of feeling good about yourself. Yes, if you look good, you feel good and so on. But I'm not knocking bodybuilding. I think it's a great sport. It's just not my sport. Can I teach bodybuilding? Yes, I've done it. But I do more functional training with power endurance, power explosive, strength. And then the martial arts I teach is a mixture of freestyle karate, which my instructor was 5 times consecutive world champion. I don't care what anyone says. I know he's my instructor. We don't talk anymore, but he's the greatest martial artist I've ever been around, and I've been around some good ones. My greatest asset is that all my instructors were the best in the world. Whether it be martial arts or tactical pistol or executive protection. I had SEAL Team 6 operators teaching me, or former SEAL Team 6. My instructor is 5 times world champion. So what I try to do is to create a system that fits into the person. For instance, what you learn is very different to what Maria learns. I don't like the term self-defense. I think that we get into this thing of teaching people to defend against people that don't know how to fight, when what you should be doing is setting your bar really high and saying, I want to learn how to fight against the best in the world at any martial art, because then you can defend against somebody that really doesn't know how to fight. There's some stuff I don't know, so I wouldn't answer, just so I don't get anyone into trouble or myself into trouble. But mainly most of my stuff is not classified. It's just it's another time. I'm very blessed to have worked there. I became the sole responsible person for the ATA program, which is the Anti-Terrorism Assistance Program. And that was only because I had a very lazy boss. So when you have a lazy boss, you're given a great deal of responsibility if you're proactive, yes? So he basically blessed me and say, okay, run with it. And that, you know, every course, there was 24 courses over a period of 3 years. I was on every one of them. Like most things, it's down to personality issues and personality driven. I mean, one of the reasons I left the embassy was from a very weak and inept resource manager, because that's all they are. They come for 3 years, they manage resources, and they leave. If I'm going to be very plain and straight, they're a resource manager. You come for 3 years, you have different people in charge of your offices, they're your resources, use them, leave. If they're good at their job, they're going to make you look good. you're going to take ownership for their work and go away. He wasn't. He was very threatened, a weak person. I'm not even going to call him a man. He was probably the main reason I decided, you know, if you're upset by a weak person and you're compromising your own character and your work that you're very proud of, it's time to go. And I wasn't being tested anymore. There was I've been surrounded by great people. My father always told me to be better, be with your betters. And a colonel once told me that to improve in life, especially professionally, you should be out your depth by 20% every day. Because we all fall to our comfort zone. And so I decided to leave. Great job. I mean, you carry a gun, you protect the Vice President of the United States, you work with the Secret Service, the FBI, all those three-letter things that, you know, everyone watches on Quantico and stuff like that. Yeah, I've done it for real. And it was really cool. And I've learned so much from them. And I owe them so much. But I worked really hard for them. And it was time to leave. And no, as for questions, I don't like talking about the Beirut days too much. I don't know if there's, you know, if I'm going to say something which I shouldn't say. So it's always better. I learned a long time ago that discretion and integrity will get you everywhere. So it's better to keep your mouth shut and smile and go and ask for another drink and leave the conversation. But no, I've been some cool places, I've done some cool things. I've seen a lot of horrible things, which make you appreciate life in Cyprus even more. And it also changes your perspective. That's why I like personal training, because it allows me to help people, and I do get a kick out of that. I do enjoy helping somebody achieve a dream. Not assisting them find the way to achieve a dream, that's, or a goal.
What is it you want to do when you grow up? Hey yo, I'm gonna be untitled. That's all my eyes can see. Victory is mine. Yeah.